Welcome to the Unprofessional Parenting Podcast. I'm Matt.
And I'm Lainey.
And this is the podcast where we talk about all things foster care and adoption. Whether you're just starting your foster care journey or you've been in the game for a very long time, we are speaking to you to share helpful tips, stories about our lives, and give you the best practical advice to continue in your foster care and adoption journey. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about attachment and bonding.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about some misconceptions around foster care and adoption attachment and that issue. We're also going to be talking about practical tips and ways that you can help your foster children and adoptive children create healthy attachment, because they don't create attachment very quickly. And we will talk about why is that.
Perfect. But before we get into today's episode, we want to encourage you to like and subscribe to our content. If you find conversations like this helpful in your journey, we encourage you to share this channel with your friends, these videos with your friends who are starting or thinking about their foster care journey as well, or if they just want some more information about what it looks like to walk through foster care and adoption. We can't wait to get to today's episode. Let's dive in. Welcome to Unprofessional Parenting. We're your hosts, Matt and Lainey.
I'm Lainey, a licensed clinical social worker with over a decade of experience working in child welfare.
And I'm Matt, with more than 10 years working in church ministry. And together, we're foster and adoptive parents who know firsthand that parenting is anything but perfect.
We're here to laugh, learn, and share the real side of raising foster and adoptive kids. Parenting isn't about being perfect, it's about showing up even when you feel completely unprofessional at it.
So let's get into today's conversation. Well, we are back, and today, as we mentioned before, we are talking about all things bonding and attachment, why it's important in the world of foster care and adoption, and really just in life in general. Any relationship requires
all the world.
Bonding and attachment. I was even thinking about this episode and thinking about our story, about how we became married, and when we first met and we first started going on our dates, you weren't bonded or attached to me. Right. It took a long time to build trust and love and all those things. And here we are years later, just happy, loving marriage with
just perfection. Here we are.
So good. We've loved these past few years. Yeah. But in any relationship, it requires trust. It requires love. And there's a lot of more factors that go into that, especially when you're dealing with foster children and adoptive children.
Yeah.
Now let me set a scenario for you. And maybe you've walked through this yourself as a foster or adoptive parent. You're thinking about going into foster care, right?
Like becoming a foster parent.
Becoming a foster parent.
Yeah.
Yep. You're thinking about becoming a foster parent. Maybe you and your spouse or you by yourself go to the trainings. Mm-hmm. You get taught about what to expect, what it's going to look like. Mm-hmm. They teach you the ins and outs of things over a period of time. You get your license. You have somebody come over to your house. They say, yep, your house is good to go to. Welcome a foster child in. And you're excited. You're ready. You're prepared. And then literally within a week, you get a phone call conversation. You're like
that night. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, congratulations on passing all your stuff. You're great. We have a kid that we want to put in your house.
Yeah. For us, it was that day. It was the same day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We want to put a kid in your home immediately. Right. And for us as foster parents, never having done this before, but going through the training, we knew some things to expect. And some of the things we are still learning as we're going 6 years into this journey.
Yeah.
And one of those things is bonding and attachment. Now, for me, I know that I wanted our kids to step foot into our home. And we've talked about this in the past. I wanted them to walk in and immediately know that they were loved, that our home is a safe and secure place for them,
right.
That they were going to feel the safety of our home, that they were going to trust us explicitly when they walked in. And then they walked into our home, and 6 years later, I still feel like we are working through those things.
Yeah, like the second they walk into the house, they smell the air. They're like, this is a safe place.
This is safe. Yeah, I feel good here. This is where I want to build my roots in my life.
This is safe here. Yes,
exactly. But that doesn't happen.
No.
So I do think that foster parents might have some misconceptions about the moment that a child enters the home and how to and what healthy bonds and attachments really look like. So let's talk about a little bit of those misconceptions. What do you think is a thought pathway that foster parents may be mistaken in thinking that in regards to bonding and attachment?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just hit one of the major ones. Is I don't think it's a bad goal to have.
Sure.
It's not a bad desire for foster parents to want their home to be a safe place. Like, that's not
right.
a bad goal.
I feel like we all as parents strive for that. Regardless.
Yeah. No, that's like a good goal to have, a good desire to have. Now, the tension comes when you think that the children walking into your home are like in the exact same place as you, like emotionally, mentally,
right? As
if like, oh yes, finally I have found a safe place. Like, this isn't.
They're not consciously thinking and seeking that out. They're in survival mode.
No, like so the misconception here that I think happens is that foster parents probably subconsciously think that kids coming into their home are just feeling the same things as them. And are ready to be rescued and are so happy to have a warm bed and are so happy to have safe people to live with. Now, you're safe. You know you're loving and stable. They don't know that. Like, they just met you.
Right.
Like, they don't know who you are at all.
Like, for our girls, when they walked into our home, they thought that we were teenagers.
Yes.
They're like,
they did.
What do these people know about life?
They did. Actually, they've told us before, they said they were so excited to move in with us because we had a little unique situation because we were able to like FaceTime them and meet them a few weeks before they actually moved in with us. But they were like, we were kind of looking forward to moving in with you guys because we thought you guys were teenagers and we could just do like whatever we wanted,
stay
like
up
no
as
rules.
late as we want. No
and
rules.
I'm like, surprise.
Welcome back.
Surprise.
Reality is far different from what you thought.
We're in a tight ship. But anyway, I digress. So what is important to remember as foster parents and adoptive parents, I mean, this applies to people that are adopting children as well. Those kids have just experienced one of the worst days of their entire lives. Like, they have just been removed from the only family that they know, the only situation they know, the only context that they know. And you can look, like, us as adults, healthy adults, look at a situation that a child's being removed from that might involve drug addiction and abuse and violence and neglect and like just all the bad things that these kids live through. And we're going, wow, that's terrible. Like, you shouldn't live in that. A child, like, that's all they know. They don't necessarily know there's a better world out there.
And sometimes they don't even equate that to danger. Like, I'm in danger or I'm not safe here.
These are people they love. Like, can we, like, let's just state facts here. Children love their biological mother and father.
Absolutely.
Regardless of what happens to them at the hands of their biological mother and father. They love them. That's how God designed us. We've talked about this before. God literally designed us biologically to do that. But these kids are coming into our houses. We are complete strangers. Our home is completely strange to them. They don't know where the food is. They don't know where the bathroom is. Like, think of these like basic things. They're walking into a home. They don't know where their bedroom is. They have to be shown where the pantry is. They have to be shown where the refrigerator is, how they get water if they're thirsty, where they go to the bathroom if they need to go to the bathroom. Like, all these super basic things they do not know. And that is scary.
And then even beyond the basic things of like just the necessities of life and where do I get them in this home is the new routines. The oftentimes new school, the oftentimes like I have to learn an entire new schedule. They're not on the same emotional playing field as you when they walk into the home.
They've just experienced the worst moment of their lives being removed from the home and routine that they knew.
Exactly. So having your right mindset of understanding where your child's coming into your home is something that you need to do as a foster parent.
Being realistic. Obviously have the goal and desire to be a safe place, to desire that bond and desire that attachment, but understanding the children coming into your home are not there. Like, you're excited and happy to receive them. They are not excited and happy to be there.
Wow. That's good. That's good. Another misconception maybe you could speak into a little bit, I think, is just the misconception that if I just keep loving, if I keep just showing and pouring out my love, that it's going to be reciprocated, and that's going to build attachment and bonding between a foster parent or adoptive parent and a child. Now, we do know that love is important.
Yes.
I'm not saying don't love these kids. I'm saying continue that outpouring of love, but the expectation on the backside that it's going to be reciprocated, it might be something that you need to look out for if you're a foster parent or an adoptive parent.
Yes. Yeah. The lie of love is enough.
Love is enough.
Love will cure them.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's dangerous, because what ends up happening is, it is a lie. Love is not enough. Like, just loving a child does not make all the problems go away.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't heal all their trauma. It doesn't.
It's part of it.
It is part of it.
Part of the process.
It is part of the recipe.
Right.
It's a major part of the recipe, but it's not the only ingredient. And it would be like, for all of our bakers out there, like, if you just put flour in a bowl, you want to make cookies, and then you just keep putting flour in and keep putting flour in. It's like, eventually, if you think that flour is the only ingredient to making cookies, you are going to get really pissed off at some point that you don't have cookies.
Sure.
It's like, I keep putting flour in the bowl.
Right.
Why am I not getting cookies? Well, it's because that's not the only ingredient.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't go in with the mindset of like, if I just love them well enough and hard enough, then they will be fine.
Love is going to push through.
They will love me back.
Yeah. And that's something we've even noticed in our home, of just the outpouring of love. And I'm not saying that we do it reluctantly. We love our kids. Yeah. We absolutely love them. Like love them. But when the expectation from us is that they need to reciprocate that, feel it, and then in turn give that back to us, or immediately everything's going to fall into line in their lives just because we love them, we're missing it. And there have been times where we have thought that, and that's been our...
I think that's a very normal human response.
Right. But it is the love plus.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things. And parents understand this. Like, you love your kids, but you also need to have structure in the home. You also need to have consequence in the home. You also need to teach your kids. You also need to give them grace and show them mercy. Like, there is a massive, a large spectrum of things you have got to be, and you can't just over enforce the love. Well, I'm just going to love them through this. Right. If I love them, they're going to push through. Maybe. But that's not the recipe. Right. That's not the recipe.
Yeah.
I think another misconception that foster and adoptive parents might have when they step into the game is the behavior thing. When that you notice that behaviors from your foster children or adopted children are still running wild, like you experience a blow up in the home, or kids are not listening to your instruction, or things of that nature.
There's manipulation,
there's lying, there's hiding
stealing,
things. And you look at that as a foster parent or adoptive parent, and you're like, wow, man, our bond and our attachment and our stuff is not working. They're not bonded to me or attaching to me because of their behavior, because of what I'm seeing them give me in their behavior. I think that when you start to draw that conclusion that they're not bonding or attaching to you because of their behavior, you're missing the point too.
Yes. Talk about that for a their behavior, the misconception is equating their behaviors with evidence of a healthy attachment and bond. Yeah. Because I think something that's really easy for humans to fall into is like, this child is lying to me consistently, or I feel this child manipulating me, trying to get something. Well, then we don't have a bond. Like, this child doesn't love me. This child doesn't love me,
doesn't trust me, doesn't look at me as anything other than just a roommate. Right.
Or just something to be manipulated. So those behaviors are just so normal in children who have experienced trauma.
Right.
Like, it is just so normal. And it's almost something that you just have to go into knowing, this is what I'm going to experience. I'm going to help a child who struggles with lying. I'm going to help a child who struggles with manipulating other people to get what they want. And it's like, you can't demonize that child because of those things. That's how that child has learned how to survive in the world. And they need help. They need a healthy person and healthy attachment to teach them other ways of living.
Right. That's why it's the love plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not their behaviors and them struggling and trying to figure out, like, your home is a laboratory. Like, they're experimenting. They're trying to figure out, like, how do relationships work now? Like, the life that I knew and the types of relationships I knew are different now.
Very different. Yeah.
So what does this mean? Like, they're learning, and them learning and still having behaviors and still struggling with things that maybe you think they should have graduated from already. It's just not evidence of, I don't know. It doesn't equate. Behaviors don't equate to attachment.
Yeah. It's not your failure as a foster or adoptive parent either. I don't think it's the, like you said, the laboratory, concept of, like, they're trying to figure out, where do I stand here? Yeah. Like, where's my place here? What is the structure here? What can I get away with here? It's the same thing as, like, even a biological child. They test the boundaries. They're testing the waters. Yeah. But even I've come to realize that just even talking to our friends and our family, people who have experienced our children outside of our homes, tell us that our kids are wonderful. Yeah. They're wonderful to be around. They're respectful. They're nice. They're kind. Yep. Except for the tiff sometimes between friends and things like that. And we've all dealt with that.
Those normal kid things. Yes.
But they tell you those things, and then you're like, wait a second. I just argued with my child last night and had to physically restrain him in his bedroom. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how is that happening outside the home, but inside of our home, it's like a completely different behavior sort of thing. And I think that might even sometimes be a good sign as well.
Yes, it is.
It is my safe place to be able to express the emotion that is the deepest, that I'm feeling the hardest in the moment, right?
Yes. Yep.
It is my son blowing up and having an anger spout because he's angry at so many things that have happened in his life.
Yes.
And he feels comfortable and safe and secure enough with our relationship and our bond and our attachment that in his bedroom, he can say those things and he can throw those things and he can do those things. And because he knows at the end of the day, you and I are going to look at him and we're going to say, buddy, we love you. Yep. It's been tough. We forgive you. Let's move on from this and let's grow from this kind of thing.
We're not going anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which I think it ties into another misconception that, like, if kids are having really difficult behaviors with you, it means that they don't trust you or they don't love you or there's not a bond there, which is actually totally opposite. Yeah. So a child will express these things and express these feelings in a safe environment. Yeah. And this reminds me of two different friends that I've talked to recently of ours.
Tell us.
One of them is a friend who just has biological children. And he was talking to me about the same thing that we struggle with our son. He was talking about with his son, like, man, he is like a demon inside my house, like with the behaviors that he has. But then outside in other environments, he's like a perfect angel. Like, everyone enjoys him, doesn't get in trouble at school, like super respectful to other adults. And then he comes home and, like, tears the place apart.
We've been there.
And so we had that conversation of, like, research has shown that is actually really healthy, that your home is an experiment lab and your home is a safe place. That child feels safe to work things out and experiment with you and figure out, like, what are the boundaries here? How am I supposed to act here? How do I express this emotion? And then when they go out in the world, they are operating in a healthy manner that is acceptable for society. And then I had another friend I was talking to who is an adoptive parent, foster and adoptive parent. And she was just really frustrated because her daughter had opened up to her about, like, I hate this. Like, I hate that this is my life. I hate that I went through this. I hate that I can't be with my biological family. I hate that I'm here with you all. Not that she hated them. Right. But that she hated the situation that her life had come to. Yep. And this friend of ours was really upset. Like, understandably, when you love a child and then you hear those words from them, man,
messes with you a
like
little bit.
It'll just pierce straight through your heart. Right. But to give it perspective, I was like, hey, remember all those years when you would be so sad that she didn't say any of these things.
Right.
Like, remember when she was so scared that when she got upset, she went completely silent and just curled up in a ball in her room and wouldn't communicate with you at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, the fact that these kids are now, like, we've watched our kids get to this place, going from, I'm just going to curl up in a ball when I'm upset and can't handle life, and I'm just going to totally tune out everyone in the world because I don't feel safe, to now I'm going to really express what's going on in my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to let you know, I'm pissed off at this. I'm angry at this. I miss my mom. I hate that I'm adopted. All of these things, that is health.
Yeah.
That they feel comfortable enough with you to know you can handle it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, absolutely. You can handle their pain. You can handle what they are expressing, and they can process it and get it out. And then they are then ready to, like, hear truth back from you. And I think those are moments that foster and adoptive parents should take advantage of like, you know what? Yeah. Like, that really freaking sucks. Like, it sucks that you can't live with your mom and dad.
Yep.
It sucks that we had to adopt you.
Sure. Yeah,
we love you in this family.
Yeah.
We love what our family is. We would never trade it for the entire world. But also, like, this freaking sucks that our world is full of pain like this.
Yep.
And so I think just, like, leveling with them on that and not taking it personally, not, like, letting them know, like, you've just hurt all my feelings and I can't believe you would say that to me. It just creates, like, those moments actually create a stronger bond and attachment.
Yeah.
Right. We've noticed, like, when we get into these, like, deep spirals of behavior with our kids, and it is like the world is on fire, and I'm sure our neighbors have considered calling the cops. By the time the cops show up, I'd be looking at them like, no. Like,
we had a breakthrough.
This is really good. Like, wait, please don't intervene, because like, we just had a great bonding moment.
Yep.
And on the flip side, our kids suddenly, like, a few hours later, like, they're lighter. They're coming into our bedroom, wanting to watch football with us, giggling as if nothing happened.
So baseline misconception is like, don't take behaviors, blow ups, and harsh words as bonding and attachment is not happening in your home. Sometimes it's the exact opposite. Right. Last misconception I want to hit on just real quick, and we touched on it at the beginning of this, and we don't have to go into deep detail because we did a conversation like this in season 1 last year. But just talking about how bonding and attachment isn't instantaneous. Yeah. It doesn't happen overnight. No. It's a long process. Again, we're year 6 with our kids in our home. Adoptions happened. They have our last name at this point. Security and safety couldn't be at a higher premium in our home of, like, it's happening, it's there, love is there, grace is there, life is there, but still it feels like there's pieces that are missing, and it's a continued work to keep the bonding and attachment train going in our home. So we're gonna stop talking about the misconceptions, and we're gonna start moving into so we already talked about the foster parent and adoptive parent's perspective and maybe misconceptions about bonding and attachment. We're going to talk about the foster child and adopted child's perspective of bonding and attachment in this next segment. Okay, so we've talked about bonding and attachment from the foster and adoptive parent's perspective, maybe some misconceptions that they have going into foster care and adoption that we kind of set the record straight on. Now I want to talk about from the foster or adopted child's perspective, why bonding and attachment isn't instantaneous, why it's a hard thing to come by. And we're going to talk about maybe some of the things that a child is walking through when they enter your home, and why you may feel some tension in their response to your attempts to bond and attach to them. Yeah. So first thing I'd love for you to talk about is the early stages of bonding and attachment in a child with their biological family. And then how it's interrupted, a trauma experience happens, they are taken from their biological family and placed into a foster home. Can we talk about some of the things that child might be walking through and why attachment and bonding is tough for them?
I mean, you just covered it. You covered the whole gamut of
Perfect. Let's go on to the next segment.
The whole span of it.
No. I was just trying to set you up so you can know what to experience.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a little bit of common sense, but let's say it anyway. The biological design of parents and children is to bond together from day -9 months. like in utero, a child is bonding to its mother.
Yeah.
So there's such a strong biological connection there to help facilitate attachment and bonding between a child and its parents.
Right.
You've got, I don't know, like our kids didn't even come to us until they were 8 and 10 years old.
Right.
Right. So sometimes we're not talking about like a baby coming into foster care.
Exactly.
We are talking about children who have lived years with their
who have established
biological
lives.
Parents. Yes. Yeah. So all of that is just setting a foundation of some type of attachment to their birth parents. And I say some type because with trauma involved, with some type of abuse and neglect involved, it's not going to be a healthy attachment.
Right.
Like we did an episode with Josh Walk on different types of attachment. He goes into great detail. So if you want to head back to that to see what different types of attachment children may be developing with traumatic relationships.
Experiences. Yeah. I'll tag it in this episode so you guys can see.
But for the sake of time, like you've got a child who already has a rocky foundation of what an attachment looks like. Now in their mind, that is how the world operates.
Yes.
Like from their perspective,
that is the truth.
An anxious attachment is how they relate to everybody in the world. Like they believe that is how the world is supposed to relate to them and them to the world. So then you have the removal, that happens. We're talking about the specific time where the state comes in and intervenes and said, this child cannot live with their birth parents anymore. Yeah. And like that moment of removal happens. And that moment is extremely traumatic for a child. Very traumatic to have a state entity, a stranger, sometimes like here in Florida, law enforcement is involved in it. Like to have all of that happening and forcefully removing a child from its birth parents, even though it's not safe for the child. Right. They don't recognize that. Right. Like all they know is that they want to be with mom and dad, even if it's hurting them. Yep. So there's just a lot of trauma that happens in there, and those disruptions, that foundation, that rocky foundation from the start, added with the disruption of coming into foster care, just creates a trajectory of difficulty. Yeah. When it comes to the child needing to attach to its next caregiver, which is you. Yeah. Yeah. And let's not even say that it's you, because this is another issue or could be a problem or something that a foster child or adopted child is experiencing when they step into your home, is the fact that there's inconsistency with the with the construct of the foster care system and with foster homes as well. Yep. Like you are probably most likely are dealing with children who are stepping into your home who are not stepping into your home as the very first foster home that they're experiencing. Right. There are children who go to group homes or go to 2, 3, 4, 5 foster homes before they end up in your home and in your care. So talk a little bit about that inconsistency being an issue for attachment and bonding in their life. Several years ago, I did a presentation on this. So I'm sure the statistics have changed a bit since then, but over 2/3 of children who are in the foster care system will go to 2 or more foster homes. Wow. Yeah. Like, so you're looking at kids that are not just being removed from their birth parents, but then they're being removed again from a foster home. And that's not a knock on most foster homes or foster parents out there, though sometimes there are those situations where, you know, there's something that happens. I won't get you into that. It's a both and. There's a ton of variables to it. Right. But sometimes it just happens. Yeah. Sometimes it just happens. Yeah. So that inconsistency of
of the people who I'm trusting, who I'm trying to bond with, who I'm experiencing love from, it starts over. And so talk about that pattern, how that is so hard for a kid to just start over so many times.
Yeah, they have to just keep starting over. And if you just think about, like, put yourself in these shoes. If you're constantly having to start over on who you trust, we're not talking about friends here. We are talking about a vulnerable child who looks to its caregiver for survival. And they're constantly having to start over. Can I trust this person? Can I trust this person? Like, eventually, just like human nature, to protect yourself, you're not trusting anybody.
Right. Close up shop, man.
Like, why would I do that? Why would I open up myself vulnerably? Why would I love this person, want to be in an intimate relationship with this person just to leave?
Right.
Just for me to leave or for them to leave. And that's actually not, like, bouncing from foster home to foster home is not taking into account that many kids bounce from parents to grandparents, to aunts and uncles, to family friends. Like, when families are living in that type of chaos and unstructured environment and low resourced environment that a lot of our kids are coming from, like, you've got parents that are homeless. And so the grandparents come in and take care of them for a few weeks. And then they go back home because parents got a hotel to live in. And then parents go get high and can't take care of them for the weekend. So then they go to aunt's house. And then the aunt says, well, these aren't my kids, take them back. And they go back to parents. And then, so it's not like, there's even a lot of bouncing and disruption that happens within the family. Like, before a foster kid even comes into the system. Right. So there's just so much relational disruption that happens in these children's lives that why would they want to keep attaching to someone who they are going to have to detach from eventually? Exactly.
And that's what I want to talk about from the last perspective from a foster and adoptive child. And we've even experienced this in my home, is why am I going to bond and attach to you? Because I have trust issues and I have fear issues that you are going to abandon me.
Abandonment, yeah.
That you're going to abandon me. It's happened once before in my life. It's happened twice before in my life.
Right.
Who wants me? Right. Do you want me? Am I worth it? Am I valuable?
Right.
And so if you have that mindset, you just, like, if I had that mindset going into any relationship, I know that I'm at a disadvantage because I'm stepping into it with the mindset of, like, I'm not going to open up my life or my heart to these people.
Right.
I'm not going to trust them. They're just going to leave me and I'm going to have to go start over and do this again. Yeah. So it all builds on top of each other, that fear, the abandonment, and all those things.
Abandonment is huge because I think what also needs to be pointed out here is that many kids perceive, like, when a termination of rights happens and they then need to be adopted, or if anything happens within the system that they don't see their birth parents as much or anymore, most kids think that their birth parents have abandoned them. Yes. And because they just don't understand the system. Yeah. Like, we've had to explain the system to our kids of, like, no. Like, your birth parents wanted you. Right. Like, your parents wanted you. It was the system, a judge, other adults that came in and said that it's not possible and it's not safe. Yeah. So, but in their minds, a kid immediately goes to, I did something wrong. My parents didn't want me. My parents abandoned me. Yeah. And it just creates such abandonment issues in a child that they then fear abandonment in every other relationship moving forward. Yeah. That's so tough. Like, these are things that we didn't, I mean, we thought about, but we didn't really, like, put a ton of energy into exploring when our kids came into our home for the first time. Like, we tried the over love, the over grace, the over mercy thing. And then we're like, there is something that is deeply rooted here that we got to unearth in order to heal from this and move on from. Well, because this is the type of stuff, like, I was so distracted. There's so many other things to be thinking about. Like, I don't know, like, what are your favorite snacks? Like, what do I have to start buying at the grocery store now? Like, how do I keep you alive? What size shoe do you wear? Like, there's so many things that go into fostering that this type of stuff just naturally doesn't get thought about until it's also the deep stuff. Yeah. And a lot of people don't like to broach that sometimes, right?
they'll 100% go out and buy you shoes because I have the means to, and I can figure out what size you are. But to get to like the depth of your heart and your biggest issues and struggles in life and your biggest fears,
your greatest fear is me abandoning you.
How do I, as a foster and adoptive parent, even enter into the conversation like that? Or what do we do from here? And I think that's a good place to kind of land this segment here. We talked about, again, in our first segment, about the foster provider's perspective. Now we're talking about the foster kid's perspective. And let's go back to the foster provider and adoptive provider's perspective of like, how can we create better environments, and what can we do proactively as foster and adoptive parents to help nurture attachment and bonding in the life of our foster and adoptive kids? We'll talk about that in this next segment. All right, here we are with our third segment of this episode, talking all about bonding and attachment. And we are going to talk and give practical advice and things that foster and adoptive parents can do to help nurture an environment of attachment and bonding in their home. Lainey, you ready for the segment?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is researched by us, but also
by us.
but also these are things that we've learned over the years of foster care and adoption in our own home. Trial and error process of just coming to some practical things. Is that fair to say?
The things that we're going to talk about and the advice we give.
Yeah, researched by us.
Is research based.
Right. But also researched implemented
by us.
It's research implemented
in our
by
own
us.
family.
We again, our home is a laboratory also for us. As parents, not just for the kids as kids. But we're trying new things, trying to figure out what is the best way to create a good environment and a nurturing environment for attachment and bonding to happen.
Right.
So the first thing I want to talk about is consistency.
Yes.
Consistency parenting, just being consistent.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about what consistency does in the life of a child whose life is kind of abruptly changed when they enter into a foster or adoptive home.
Yeah. I mean, neurologically,
talk about the brain.
Attachment is built through repeated behaviors, repeated connections that continue to create the same pathway over and over and over again in a child's brain.
Starts to heal and repair.
Yes. They currently have chaos pathways in their brain.
Yeah.
And the more you do the same thing over and over again, the more a child's brain learns what to expect, learns that you are predictable, that you are stable, and that this is safe.
Yeah.
So, gosh, there's a billion examples of consistency we can give.
I was going to say, what are some of the things that we're talking about consistency parenting?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you can be consistent with as a foster and adoptive parent to help repair that?
Here are some of the favorites that we do that are very easy, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to change your life to do these things. You take them to school every morning.
Heck yeah.
You pick them up from school every afternoon.
It's there.
Like you're not running 30 minutes late. You don't, forget that I had a child at school and the office has to call and say you left your child here. Yeah. Like you're there. When you need to take your child somewhere, you do. And when you need to pick them up, you do. Those, like that's basic, but that's something that they might not have ever had before.
Give us another one.
Another one, family dinners.
Yeah. Huge.
One of my favorite things. And it was something that I grew up with.
Same.
I think you grew up with it.
100%.
But I'm actually surprised. The older I get, the more I hear that that's like not a norm among a lot of families.
It's because parents have, I'm not trying to be negative here, but like people have replaced those things with stuff that's happening outside the home with sports and extracurricular activities and getting their kids involved with travel ball and doing all these things.
Right.
And we experience that in our home too. It's not like every single night we sit down and eat dinner, but I would say
like 4 to 5 nights out of the week.
There are specific times where we set aside, hey, we are doing family dinner. I know your friend wants to hang. Ain't happening. I know you might have practice here, but we're going to get home and we're going to sit down together.
No, like when our kids get home from school, if they want to go play with their friends in the neighborhood, they know back by dinner.
Yep.
Like it's a rule. And I actually think that it's something that some of our kids' friends have come to enjoy, is like being at our house when we do family dinner.
Yeah.
That is the time. It's the same routine. They know. we're going to feed them. Now I enjoy cooking, so I like cooking, but you can also do like go to McDonald's and then bring it to your house.
Home. Sit at your table.
And sit down at the table and eat it.
In the safe haven of your home.
Yes.
This is the place where we dine together.
Yes.
Like, I go out to eat, sure, but like there's something about bringing it home and sitting at the table.
Yep. Being in your home, our kids set the table.
Yeah.
We all clean the table together. It's just like, it's a family thing that we're doing together. It's part of our routine.
Give me another consistency. Maybe consistency in
like discipline type stuff. Is that what you're thinking? Yeah. So
this is where I struggle. So I'll let you talk about this.
Oh, but it's a balance, because you don't want to be militant. You want to leave a lot of room for grace. You want to be flexible, but you also want to be consistent.
Yep.
And it feels like those things contradict each other. So it's just like a dance that you have to learn. Good luck. Yeah. Because we don't know it either.
No.
But it's just consistency of like, whatever you say as a threat of consequence.
Yeah.
You better follow through with it.
Yeah. And I'm the worst at it. So,
but it helps you control, like don't say something as like a scare tactic to a child to get them to comply with what you want if you're not going to follow through with that.
Right.
Like,
right.
I'm going to, we're all going on a vacation on a big cruise in a few weeks. And if you don't behave, you're not going on the cruise with us. You're not taking the cruise away. Like, that's not going to happen.
Sure. The child knows that you're not going to take the cruise away. What
really kills me is when parents are like, Christmas time, like, I'm taking all your Christmas presents back and you're not getting Christmas. Now, some parents have done that. Yes. But like, are you really taking all the kids' Christmas presents back? No, you're not. Like, sure. you're going to wake up on Christmas morning and that child's going to have presents. Yeah. So what it's like those types of threatening a consequence that you're not going to follow through with to try to control a child's behavior only teaches that child that what you say means nothing. Like, that is not consistency. Yeah. Consistency is, hey, if you don't go to bed at your bedtime tonight, tomorrow night you're going to have an early bedtime.
Yep.
And then you follow through with that. If your child isn't in bed by their bedtime because they want to do whatever they want, it's like a defiant thing. Well, 30 minutes earlier, we're getting ready for bed. And like, you just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Hey, if you keep doing this, I'm taking video games away from you. Right.
So consistency in those three things, there's a bunch of different areas you can be consistent in, but just being consistent is a key factor in building a nurturing environment for bonding and attachment to happen. Yes. I think another thing that we can talk about real quickly, and there's a couple more that I want to hit, but real quickly is your response to behavior. Instead of just a response of anger and discipline immediately and throwing out a consequence and all those things, but understanding the depth of what the behavioral experience is with that child. Of like, it's not just them yelling and screaming, I hate you, I hate this, all this other stuff. There is something that's deeper there, right? In responding to that instead of responding to the words is so important in helping nurturing that environment of bonding and attachment. Right. Because there have been times where we have, on the flip side of that, responded to the behavior in the quickest manner whatsoever, because no one wants to get yelled at. Right. No one wants to have hurtful things said to them. And we've been hurt by some of the things that our kids have said to us. Yeah. And in the moment, you want to react. You want to say the thing. You want to let them know that you are in charge. You want to tell them the truth about their life and the truth about who you are. Yeah. But that doesn't help. No. It does not help. It like, you're just screaming these things, and it's gonna cut to the core of who they are even quicker, and that wound is gonna fester even more. You gotta be attuned to what is happening beneath the surface of the behavior. Yeah. You gotta respond to the thing. Yeah. So like, when I know that my kid is yelling at me and saying, well, I hate you, I hate this place, yada, yada, yada. It's not so much that they hate me in this place. They hate the situation that they're in. When they tell me that they're not going to listen to me and to the words that I'm saying or the instruction that I'm giving them, and they say, I'm not listening to you. Well, that's because they want to have control over a situation in their life. And they want to hold on to what little power they can, because their life has been turned upside down and they had zero control over the situation whatsoever. So getting to the bottom of those things and responding to the underlying cause of what's troubling in the behavioral moment. The last thing I want to
hold on. Addressing the thing under the behavior will eventually alleviate the behavior.
Okay.
If you just go straight in at the behavior, you're asking for a power struggle with a lot of kids. I remember telling some of our friends a story, multiple stories, about how our 7-8-year-old son would just like cuss us out, call us like
so funny sometimes, but also awful.
I know. In the moment, I was like, this is not funny. But looking back on it, you gotta laugh.
Hilarious.
I mean, he learned every curse word in the book and he called us.
He threw the book at us.
Boop, boop. He sure did.
Yeah.
And so we'd tell stories to non-foster and adoptive families. And I remember someone was like, oh, that would never fly with my son. He would, like talking about what consequence his son would get if he ever did that, whatever. And I'm like, okay, congrats on having like a normal father-son relationship with your child. Like that doesn't work for foster and adoptive children because they don't care. Like it's not about the behavior, right? Like a lot of times they're not scared of you yelling back at them and saying, that's disrespectful. They know it is. And that's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, you can't just address the behavior and you can't come down with an iron fist like, you'll never speak to me like that in this house. Well, yeah, they will. They just did.
Yeah. And they will continue.
And they will continue
unless
to.
you get to the bottom of it.
Yes.
Yep. Last thing I want to talk about, and just a way to nurture attaching and bonding in your house, is when those moments happen, when those behavior blow-ups happen, when the arguments happen, when you as a foster or adoptive parent say things back to this child that you look back and you're like, I probably shouldn't have handled it that way. Yeah. Repairing the relationship after the rupture of the relationship is such an important thing. Yes. Going back and addressing the situation, maybe even apologizing for some of the things that you said or did. I'm quick to apologize.
You sure are.
You not so much. And there's been times where I've like, Lainey, I think you probably should go say something about it. I know.
Just recently when me and our son really had it out. Yeah. I remember he was like so broken afterwards. And I remember even then I was hugging him and I was like, I'm really sorry for what I said. Yeah, right. It's like still so difficult for me to apologize.
But it's so important to let them know that relationship doesn't have to end with the broken, right? Yeah. It doesn't have to end with the anger. It doesn't have to end with you guys hating each other and butting heads, and the fight doesn't have to be final. You don't, and here's what I would suggest is you don't move on from it. You don't like just pretend like it didn't happen, because our kids will pretend like it never happened. Yes. They'll move on from it so quick because that's the way that they've learned that relationships work in their life. It's like you have a blow up, you move on and you pretend like nothing ever happened. But over time that erodes the relationship, and you have always these underlying thoughts of, am I really loved? Or do they really love me? Or do they really trust me? Or do I really trust them? And all these other things. When you go back and you repair after the rupture, it brings that relationship back to a place where it can be reconciled and made whole again. Yes. And that's what we're trying to teach our kids is like, man, we can have it out. That's fine. And emotions will get the best of you. And we've all sinned and we all fall short of the glory of God. So we will say things and do things that are probably pretty sinful in the moment. Yep. But in the end, we can come back together and I can express my love for you. I can say, here's why I said those things. And here's what made me really angry about that moment. And we can teach through and help build those moments
and
of
seeking
bonding.
Forgiveness from the other party.
Exactly. Yeah. And how important that is in your life. Like you are going to make mistakes, but there's grace.
Yeah. Seeking forgiveness from your child. Yeah. Like that in and of itself to build attachment. Yeah. For you to humbly say, will you forgive me in my shortcomings as a parent? Yeah. And then for them to like extend that to you, I would say I've never seen a child be like, no, you know, like a child is most likely always going to be like, yeah.
Our son runs to hug us in those moments. Yeah. Like, runs to hug us.
Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah. It's big. So we've covered a lot of different topics in this episode about bonding and attachment, how to foster it in your home. No pun intended. What a foster adopted child is experiencing when they walk into your home and how bonding and attachment is hard for them, and misconceptions that foster parents and adoptive parents may have about bonding bonding and attachment and how instantaneous it can be. So if you like this episode, man, I hope that you guys would share it with your friends, like and subscribe to our channel, follow us on all social media platforms. It's been a great conversation with you, and we're looking forward to the next one. We'll see you next time.